Hello guys, this is a summary of Oasis Health App. Just like any other system, we have our login screen. So I'm going ahead to enter my username and my password. I log in, and there is the panels for the individual modules. As an admin, I have access to all part of the system. So based on the user's permission, you will see what he is supposed to see. So those are the records, and you will see the records. So let's take a minute to go through all the individual modules and see what they all do. So the records is just like an OPD, where it captures the patient registration, we are checking the attendance management and other information about OPD management. The consultation, which is also the doctor's module, where every specialist, so it doesn't matter if you are doing general eye, dentist, any specialist at all can use this particular module. The best and worst, where it manages the inpatient information, admissions, everything about inpatient. You have the theater module, as you rightly see. It manages everything about procedures and theaters. Pharmacy, everything about pharmacy in terms of their stock take, their stock control, drug dispensing, and everything about pharmacy. Then billing and cash point. This side captures everything about revenue, from cash to companies and other groups. It also has a bit of finance inside it, and an insurance module that captures every aspect of insurance policies, whether it's from private insurance, NHIS, and also companies and groups. We have the purchases module that manages purchases from the facility. The reporting model is one of the fascinating parts of the system, where it captures every aspect of the system that needs to be reported. We can boast of almost all the Ghana Health Service reporting, from system of outpatient, inpatient, mobility reports, biochemistry returns, hematology returns. All these reports have been captured with ease in our system. The laboratory model allows us to manage every aspect of the patient lab information. It has inbuilt security inside that secures patients' lab results. We can also integrate the lab module to lab equipment with ease. Stores management allows the system to manage the general stores of any facility. The antenatal module, as you know, for our mothers and our wives. The postnatal also follow the same. The radiology module just manages the radiology aspect of any facility. This is for the administrator of the facility to manage users and permissions, what they can do and what they cannot do. A bit of finance in here. We have the nutrition and child health, as you know, manages everything about nutrition and child health in every facility, basically the district ones. The STI control also basically used by the district facility and some of the lab ones. Then disease infection control, midwife returns, occupational health, then requisition modules, and then physiotherapy if you do some specialists in physiotherapy. So this system has been built in such a way that it's multi-tenant. That means it allows multiple facilities to sit on the same platform. That is how fascinating the system has been done. So let's just do a few seconds summary in all the modules and see how best we can capture this information. So you can actually enter into any of these modules by clicking the go to module here. So the OPD, or the records, which we have termed it as done. So the records modules open. A little bit delay here. Okay, so sometimes it's still happy. Now, at a glance, you could tell what is happening on the dashboard. Attendance for anybody here. So it gives attendance by the insurance policies, uninsured, private, and then NHIS. Number of registrations for a particular day, how many are males, how many are females, and attendance for a particular year. So at a glance, the admin can understand what is happening in the facility without waiting for the end of the month or going about asking people. Now, that's what applies to every model. Every model has its own dashboard, and it gives its own specific information, making it easy for the administrators to understand certain critical information without the need to waiting for a report or whatever. Now, on the left side are the pages. So we can go through the pages. This is where we register the patient. So at a glance, it gives you the patient information. As this is NHIS, uninsured, this is ECG, this is PDS, ECG. So the system can capture both companies, uninsured, NHIS, and everything. And as you can see, the interface is very, very unique. So we click on that point to register a new patient. This is where we capture the patient information, the insurance. So here you can see uninsured, NHIS, and all those companies, and then the billing information. So it is built in a way that it's cut down any errors. We can say that zero errors are done as per in this particular area of the system registration. So this is where registration is done. Let's just go ahead and then see how a patient is checked in for attendance. So we just do search for a patient here. So you can search by the patient's name, or by the phone number, by the insurance number, or by the first name or last name. So let's go ahead. This is uninsured, as you can see, it's uninsured. At the top, say 38 days since last visit. So we select the specialist, then the room the patient is going, and then if there's any amount to be billed, you select it, and then you save. As simple as that. Then you can go ahead and take vitals, which we will not do for the sake of time. We want to make this video as short as possible. So we move to the consultation module where the doctors use it. So doctor enters the consultation module, then actually picks his or her specialist. So a doctor can actually work on multiple specialists at a time, or I can work on one specialist at a time. So here I can select all, meaning I want to work on all the specialists, or I can choose maybe one of these or whatever. So let me just select all for the sake of this demo. So I click on this to start my consultation. I select the consultation. Then I go ahead and make these options, whether it's new attendance or review, whatever. So when you click on this button, it can give you the last visits of the patient information. You can click on here to get the patient history. So history, you can get all this information, the vital history, the eye, in case there's any eye information, clicking history, physiotherapy history, if any, soap reports, doctor's notes, nurse's notes. So a lot of information has been captured in the system. So here you do click, and within the clicking you can actually create your own keywords where you can make your work much more easier. So we have the history of presenting complaint, review of systems, where you can select options here. To the general health, physical examination, and note if any. So that is done. And then we can go to diagnosis. We have over 12,000 diagnoses in the system. So let's just choose in diagnosis here. And then we can go ahead and then let's choose this one. And then choose some diagnosis type, the prescription. Let's just choose one prescription for the sake of time. And then we can give our dose, frequency, and duration. So, then you can also create templates for your drugs, physiotherapy if you need, let's ignore that. So you can just choose lab for blood count. Then radiology if any, procedure. So if you want to admit, we just click here either to admit or to detain. So you can either admit or detain. So as you can see, if I can admit again, it turns one off. This that. So that is basically that. So let's turn all of them off. We don't want to do that now. So let's just save this information. So once everything is okay, you click on the save, and then it saves with ease. So as soon as you save, the patient leaves the queue for the next patient to come. So if there's any patient, you will see here. So once you save, it comes here. I'll see the information you save here. Now let's go to the pharmacy. The pharmacy model, which captures everything about the pharmacy. So again, also on the left side, you see all these pages. The transfers, requisitions, expiry, product pricing. You do a lot of things here. Drugs mapping, drugs map, all these things are done here. So let's just go ahead and then dispense our drug. So we click on this, you select the patient, and then you enter the quantity to be given based on the dosage. If there's a need for the patient to pay, we send to Berlin, and then we go ahead and then dispense. So let's try to dispense this patient. Yeah, so just trying to print the prescription sheets and just cancel. So at the end of the day, we dispense the drug for the patient. If you want to know the diagnosis the doctor chose, you can just click here to give you the actual diagnosis to confirm this. So that is a stuff like that. Once you dispense the drug, it leaves the queue for the next patient to show up. So that is that. So let's just close it and go to the lab. So again, also in the lab we have other pages here where there's so many different things, blood bank and other things. So let's just go and then enter our results. So we'll click on this one and we'll see our lab and the parameters. So whichever one that applies, you can just enter them here. Just put in values there for the sake of example. So if you are done, you go ahead. If you want to give any comment to the physician, maybe danger or whatever, then you go ahead and save. So as soon as I save this, the doctor gets a notification, and then if everything is okay, you go ahead and process. Yeah, that process. So now we go to the best and worst. This is a summary. So our worst model has been more captured in detail. Let's just show you how the ward looks like, and then so click on the ward manager. You select your ward and then the room. So all these ones will be created by the facility themselves. So as you can see, we have 2 beds. 3 beds, sorry, 1 is empty and the 2 are occupied. So if you click on this, click on the bed, the icon here on the bed, it's then load the patient information where you can understand what is happening to the patient. So you can get the clinical information, the diagnosis, the prescription if any, the labs if any, and then you have the nurse's note, doctor's note, fluid charts, and a 4-hour chart. So the 4-hour chart, as you know, the temperature chart and all those charts, our system draws the chart with ease without any intervention by the users, just by entering your lab result, your vitals, the system draws those charts for you. So for maternity, if the person is a female, the system can allow you to add maternity information like delivery outcome, delivery records, conditions of discharge, baby's declaration discharge, and the discharge summary for our mothers. So let's just close this one. So at the end of the day, if you want to discharge this patient, just click on this one, and then you can just set the discharge dates, the final discharge, whether it's a discharge, transfer out, or death. Let's just close it. This is where you can actually move a patient from one ward to another. You're also getting more detail about the patient from the patient history here. So this is the emergencies. This is where you manage your emergency cases here. At the end of the day, all information about the system are captured, especially when it comes to the insurance information, are managed here. So in terms of your NHIS insurance, your private insurance, and company claims are all managed seamlessly in this particular module. As you can see, you have total claims for this one, which is 2, 0%, 0 for private insurance, and total process for private insurance. So at the end of the day, you can tell the total number of NHIS patients and how many are private. The whole year, how many NHIS we have done, 19, the whole year, 0 private insurance. So here, everything about insurance can be captured with ease. So in a summary, when you go to the system, every aspect of a hospital information has been captured in the system in terms of your stores, theater, reporting. Let's just have a look at the reporting at least. to wrap up with this particular video. So we have mobility. We have the mobility original. So we have versions of mobility in our own way. This is the actual mobility from Ghana Health Service. We have the hematology returns. Or let's just search for returns, and then you can give us all the returns. So you have the major returns, hematology, biochemistry returns, hematology returns, physical returns, microbiology returns, X-ray returns, ATC returns, monthly art returns. So all these returns have been managed and captured in our system. Look at the outpatient, just look at this report, and then we can wrap up with this video. Hopefully you will appreciate what we have done, and then expect to do a much more in-depth presentation to you. So you are looking at the system of outpatient as example of our reporting feature. So let's just choose any two days, and then get some information here. Okay. So it's gonna give us the report in the way Ghana Health Service want to see it. So this is the report, as you can see. This is the report, as you can see. Perfect. So we will end the video from here, and hopefully at the right time we shall do a much more in-depth presentation on it. So at the end of the day, you can log out from any part of the system by just clicking on log out, and then you are good to go. Thank you very much.